Na 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 na. Hey YouTube, my name is Vin, and I like playing games. And welcome to another episode of Vin Plays Yahoo Fantasy Football. This is my Week 9 starter show, where I go over a little bit of news, my matchups, and just my general thoughts about the upcoming games for the week. So let's go ahead and dive into it. As far as news is concerned, there hasn't been any big news for this week, as of today, anyways. Today, the day I'm recording, is November 4th, Wednesday, and the biggest news actually is about. There has been, for the Cardinals haven't had any new tests, so things are on track to for the game that's going on for them on Sunday. But there was new cases for San Francisco today, and essentially all of their starting wide receivers are on the COVID list now. So they have no starting wide receivers available for tomorrow's game against the Green Bay Packers. Which let's go ahead and go into our matchups, my starters, since this relates to them. Starting off with Aaron Rodgers here. So this opens up a really strange and unique situation for the Packers, or an interesting game script. Essentially, this game can be an odd game. Rodgers is against San Francisco. Rodgers and Davante Adams, actually. So they're both against San Francisco, and San Francisco's defense is still pretty good, but San Francisco's offense is going to be in total disarray. And that's even if this game happens. This game might be pushed back or might be postponed. We don't know. It's kind of up in the air right now. As far as Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams, though, tempered expectations here. San Francisco still has a good defense, but not only that, but the game script might turn negative for them, and not so much for the Green Bay Packers, because since Nick Mullins is starting, since Jimmy Garoppolo is out, George Kittle is out. He's going to be missing pretty much the rest of the season, for all intents and purposes, the rest of the fantasy season, anyways. And so Nick Mullins is projected to start for San Francisco here. They have no starting wide receivers. Deebo Samuels is out. Brandon Ayuk is out. So with no wide receivers, Jordan Reed, there's no news of him practicing yet, so we're not sure if he's even going to play. The San Francisco offense might be really, really bad. Well, they still have Mikael Hasty. Their running backs might be okay, especially against the Green Bay defense. The Green Bay is just awful. I think they're worst in the league at run defense, or points against the run. So Hasty is set up to have a good game, but other than him, their offense might be awful, and is trending towards awful anyways. Is my expectation. They are going to be pretty awful. And it wouldn't actually be surprising to me if Green Bay's defense scores a touchdown or two. So if Green Bay's defense does run up the score, then Aaron Rodgers won't really need to pass, and so the Green Bay Packers, might rely on the run as well. Although, the Green Bay Packers also have no starting running backs available on their team because of, yes, ding ding ding, because of plague. So they are on the plague list. AJ Dillon is on the plague list, as well as Jamal Williams. So we're having really B squad level talent here for Green Bay. And you know what, maybe that works in their favor too. Maybe because since they don't have any quality running backs playing for them, maybe Aaron Rodgers will just pass, make a lot more passes versus any kind of real running game. I don't know, it'll be interesting to watch. We'll see how it goes. But Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams, tempered expectations here. San Francisco does have a good defense, and I just have no idea what the game script is going to be for this game. It's totally up in the air. Let's go ahead and go down again to Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson is against Tennessee, which is a pretty neutral to good matchup. We expect him to smash or do pretty well here. So, yeah, no trepidation about starting Allen Robinson. Let's keep going. Josh Jacobs against the Chargers. I keep thinking Clippers every time I see LAC. I don't know, it's just so strange for me not to see the San Diego Chargers. But anyways, against the Los Angeles Chargers, that's a neutral matchup as well, as far as I'm concerned. And Josh Jacobs did look good last week. So, 14 points, that's well within the realm of possibility. Or he might even smash. That wouldn't be outside of expectations here. That wouldn't surprise me, anyways, if Josh Jacobs just tore up the Chargers defense. Let's go ahead and continue on with Antonio Gibson. You know what? The matchup isn't totally great. It's neutral, a pretty neutral matchup. The thing that I really love about starting Gibson this week, though, is that I think the great game script will really favor him. Washington against the Giants. The Giants are really awful, and the Washington football team should be in a competitive match, and they might even be leading. Daniel Jones is a turnover machine, so in the same way that Green Bay's defense might score or rack up a lot of points, Washington's defense might score as well. And so if the game is competitive, or if the Washington football team is ahead and they're just trying to run out the clock, then Antonio Gibson is going to get a lot of work. They won't have a real need to pass to Jerick McKissick. Jerick McKissick, I believe is what his name is, their pass catching back. So this should be a smash spot for Antonio Gibson. 12 points is, I think that's pretty much a given. Hopefully, knock on wood, we don't want to jinx ourselves, but I'd be kind of disappointed if he doesn't put up at least a touchdown, maybe even two, and yeah, just destroy in this spot. Let's keep going. Darren Waller, he is against the Chargers as well. This is another neutral matchup. The Chargers defense, it might actually be better than neutral. Maybe that's why it's ranked 10th, because the Chargers do have a lot of injuries on defense. So yeah, we're expecting another neutral to smash spot here from Darren Waller. He's staying in our lineup every week essentially, so especially now that he's passed his bye. But here we have a little bit of a dilemma. Let's go on and come out here, because we do have Deontay Johnson right now. I have set as my starter at flex, but I'm not exactly sure if I want to start him. He does have a great matchup against Dallas here, because Dallas's defense is awful and their offense is awful as well. Andy Dalton is on the plague list too, so Andy Dalton will not be playing. And their defense has just been awful for the entire year. So Deontay Johnson is in a smash spot here, in a very plus matchup here. The problem is his health hasn't been all that great for this year, and even the last game he did have to leave for a part of the game because he did hurt himself. He ended up coming back, I think, but yeah, his health doesn't seem to be 100% trustworthy here. And not only that, but there's some questions as to his usage too, because he was not the target leader his last game against Baltimore. I believe Jonnu Smith was. So if this wide receiver group turns out to be more egalitarian, that is, between him, Jonnu Smith, and Chase Claypool, than I'm initially anticipated, then it could mean up and down weeks for him. Although he's still in a smash spot here, but those are things to consider. But thinking about other people to start in his stead, we do have DeAndre Swift here, and he has a pretty good matchup against Minnesota. He has been getting more work. Last game was kind of a low game for him. The last game, Detroit, who was the last game with? Let me go and check real quick. Against Indiana, yeah, that's right. So the last game against Indiana, Indiana was up for most of that game, and the Lions abandoned the run game. So, ideally, DeAndre Swift is included in the passing game. Let's actually take a look at how many targets he got. He only got 4 targets, which is kind of, that's okay for running back. But yeah, since they were playing catch-up for most of the game, DeAndre Swift really didn't get much usage. But against Minnesota, again, that's a good spot for him. We are considering starting him in place of DeAndre Swift. And the only other serious consideration we have is Chris Carson, actually. Chris Carson is questionable right now to return. He was questionable last week as well. And Chris Carson is, I don't know, he seems like he gets hurt here and there, but the way he runs, and man, he is strong like bull. For a lack of a better, terminology. But yeah, if Chris Carson plays, it'd be really hard to sit him. Buffalo's defense hasn't been as good as it was last year. I consider this more of a neutral matchup here. So yeah, if Chris Carson plays, I'd seriously consider playing him. I'd probably lean towards playing him if he plays. But then again, the things to consider if we do start Chris Carson, he is coming back from injuries, so it's not outside the realm of possibility that Chris Carson does get hurt mid-game and then just kind of donuts our team. Well, maybe not donuts our team, but gives us a poor performance because he leaves because of re-aggravation of his injury. So yeah, that could be a problem. And our traditional start at flex, Robert Woods, he is on bye this week, so we obviously can't start him. We did end up keeping Giovanni Bernard. There just wasn't anybody that was super interesting on the waiver wire for us. The only new addition to my team so far is Benny Snell here. I ended up swapping him out for Tony Pollard, or dropping Tony Pollard for Benny Snell, just because I like Benny Snell's situation better with the Steelers. I think the Steelers are just doing a lot better as a team right now compared to Dallas. Dallas is circling, just spiraling down the toilet really fast, and even Ezekiel Elliott isn't doing that well. His floor has dropped significantly. So I'm thinking that if James Conner goes down, Benny Snell is in a better spot to provide fantasy value, that is, versus Tony Pollard, just because of how awful that team has looked in Dallas. That pretty much goes. Let's finish up. We do have Rodrigo Blankenship. He is against Baltimore. That is a tough spot right there. But hopefully, Phillip Rivers and the Colts can find enough offense to put them in field goal range. That is, a good amount of times in order to get him to score, because he's proven this year to be a very capable kicker. I think last week, the week that I picked him up, was the only time he really gave a really subpar performance against Detroit. Yeah, and that was a game they were up. So yeah, hopefully Phillip Rivers can move the chains, and the Colts, that is, can move the ball just enough to get into field goal range. And then, like I was saying earlier with Antonio Gibson, we did pick up the Washington football team here. We are starting them again against the New York Giants. Daniel Jones is a turnover machine. And, Washington's defense is pretty good. They do get after the quarterback. So Daniel Jones pressured, he'll throw some picks. So at the very least, he'll throw some picks anyways. And maybe a pick 6, hopefully. Knock on wood. Let's go ahead and get into our matchup with our opponents. This week we are playing It's Going Down. My buddy here, It's Going Down. Let's go over his side of things. It looks like Justin Herbert. He is starting Justin Herbert, who has been playing well. Too bad his team hasn't been doing well. The Chargers just always seem to find a way to lose, don't they? But anyways, Justin Herbert's doing well. He's playing against the Las Vegas Raiders, which is a pretty neutral matchup. So yeah, he'll either get his, we're expecting him to get his projected points, or maybe even more. He might even smash this game. It wouldn't be surprising either way. Yeah, kind of tepid anxiety here about facing Justin Herbert. Medium anxiety, I should say, about facing Justin Herbert. DeAndre Hopkins, it's always anxious facing DeAndre Hopkins. Although he is playing Miami, and like we talked about last week when Miami played the Rams and Robert Woods matchup, Miami does have a pretty good defense, surprisingly good defense, and they have really good cornerbacks. So Xavier Howard is back there and will probably be covering DeAndre Hopkins. But you know, DeAndre Hopkins is just so freaking good that yeah, we're worried about DeAndre Hopkins regardless of who he plays. So yeah, just to temper our expectations, DeAndre Hopkins is probably going to smash, and he always seems to smash. So we're very afraid of DeAndre Hopkins. Let's move on. So he is starting Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin is playing the Giants. If the game script goes the way that I think it's going to go, well, if it's in a competitive matchup, if the Giants, if it's pretty even going through most of the game, then Terry McLaurin should get a lot of work, and you know he definitely can carve up this defense, this New York defense. So yeah, you know, it's 14 points. He may smash as well. This is something to be. Terry McLaurin is somebody to be anxious about, and I am anxious about Terry McLaurin. He also has Chase Edmonds against Miami. Again, Miami does have a pretty good defense, but yeah, Chase Edmonds, the couple of games that I've watched of his, he has just looked good. He's looked way better than Kenyon Drake. So we are worried about Chase Edmonds as well. This is not looking good for us. Oh, but here we go. We have Aaron Jones here. Aaron Jones, I don't expect him to play this week. So actually, let's go ahead and take a look at his lineup here. So if Aaron Jones does not play, which I'm pretty much expecting, he is probably going to start him or start. Who is he going to start? Kareem Hunt is on bye. You can start John Brown, Latavius Murray. Okay, here we go. I'll probably start Justin Jackson here up against Las Vegas. You know, Justin Jackson looked pretty good the last game, I believe. Yeah, he did. 15 points, yeah. So against Las Vegas, again, this would be a scary matchup for us. Yeah, this would be a pretty... that is very anxiety heightening here with Justin Jackson. So Justin Jackson will probably be the second starter at running back, which is pretty scary. Jonnu Smith, man, Jonnu Smith, I had really high expectations. Well, not really expectations. I thought he'd be better at this point of the season. If you remember from a few episodes ago, I actually traded Jonnu Smith and Matt Ryan for Darren Waller. And when I made the trade, I did have high expectations. Well, not really high expectations, but I expected, and I still kind of expect, Matt Ryan to fall into QB1 territory, maybe 10, 11, 12, 13. And I expected Jonnu Smith, and I still do actually, I expected Jonnu Smith to be maybe a top 8 tight end, but it's just been really up and down for him. It really looks like the Tennessee Titans, Ryan Tannehill, that offense can't support 3 pass catchers. So for the last few weeks, Corey Davis has been stepping up his game. So, you know, they have A.J. Brown, who is going to get his, and then they have Corey Davis, and then third on the scale is Jonnu Smith. I think it's pretty much going to go up and down depending on matchup between Jonnu Smith and Corey Davis. But odds are, going forward, if one has a good game, then odds are the other isn't going to have a good game. So there are going to be, my prediction anyways, my thoughts on it are, there's going to be games where Jonnu Smith is going to smash or have a good game, and then Corey Davis will not have a good game, or vice versa. Which, you know, considering the tight end landscape right now, is still probably places him within top 8, but for a while, a lot of the analysts out there were predicting that he was a firm top 5, like maybe a 4. And as things have, as the year has progressed and we've seen more of his games, it really seems like the Titans, they just don't have enough passes to go around to support 3 pass catchers. So considering that situation and his matchup here against Chicago, I'm really not too worried about Jonnu Smith. Hopefully he doesn't catch a touchdown. If he does, then yeah, we might get smashed like we got smashed last week against the drafted. But anyways, let's continue. Let's go on. We have Keenan Allen here. Keenan Allen again. Wow, my opponent here. It's going down. He's really starting. He's triple dipping with the Chargers here. He has the Herbert, Justin Jackson, and Keenan Allen stack going on, or at least he will once Aaron Jones is ruled out, or once and if Aaron Jones is ruled out. But anyways, Keenan Allen has been so good lately too, so I wouldn't be surprised if he smashes here. Keenan Allen is very scary as well. Going back down the list, Younghoe Koo. I mispronounced his name last a couple of weeks ago. I think I called him Younghoe, but Younghoe Koo. He's been doing super well. Younghoe, he's a good kicker too, and I have a soft spot for Younghoe. He was a viral sensation before. If you haven't known, you could look up a video of him doing a backflip and kicking a field goal at the same time. It is pretty cool. And last but not least, his defense. He has the Tampa Bay defense, who, Tampa Bay's defense is legit. And, they meet expectations more so than not. They meet their minimum. And against New Orleans, I wouldn't say that's a smash spot. But at this juncture, I wouldn't blame him for just running with Tampa Bay going forward. Just relying on him like he would any top defense. So yeah, that pretty much concludes this episode. My name is Vin, and I like to play games, and I'll see you next time.